Hello, hello. All right, let me get this show going. Stream. So I'm just trying to get everything set up, and while I do that, oh wait, that's not the chat I want. I don't want that. I want the web link to the chat. Now, what? I don't understand. I want to, if you're just joining me, I'm just still trying to figure out how to get some of the bugs worked out here. What I wanted to do was see if I can monitor the chat while I'm on it. So let me turn off the music. Oh, hey, there's a chat app. All right, let's see if we can just run this instead. I don't know if, here, let's do Twitch. So I'm still trying to work out the issues with the streaming and get everything set up. It's been a while since I've done this. Where's my channel? I know you guys don't want to see this. I'll just move this off screen. And oh, wow, that's running really slow on my other screen. I don't want the video, I just want the chat. I remember there used to be like a way that I could kill the audio. Pop out. Oh, this doesn't really work very well. Plus, I can't even tell if people are in the chat or not. Okay, I'll have to come up with some other solution for this. This seems to be working. Why is it using 70% of my CPU? Let me get rid of the computer for a second. Is it using all this processing power? Because second monitor. Hi, if you're just joining the stream, just bear with me for a second while I try to get this sort of working. Look at this. Let's disable. I want this. Let's quit Duout. Whoops, that screwed up everything. See if OBS is recording correctly, or did it just crash on me? Go all window, no window available. That's not good. Okay, back. Let's see if this works. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. I have the video over here. There are 3 people who are unfortunately watching me screw this up. Oh, okay. Volume is working. Now all I want to do is get the chat open. All right. I think I got this sort of working. Let me mute tablet. And I don't need this, and I don't need anything else. Hey, okay, I'm back. So, but menu butler. Where is... I have this I hate when Spotlight doesn't work. I have this program that actually hides some of the icons. They sort of drive me nuts. Let me see if I can find... I think it's like menu butler or something. Or not. I don't know where it is. Interesting. So one of the things, oh, there, bartender. There we go. I want to hide this. Show in menu bar. Show in menu bar. Show in menu, and always show in menu bar. Then what I want to do visible. Then I should be able to hide this stuff. Or not. I guess you're gonna watch me while I try to get this working. Oh, by the way, if you're I just want to see if it now pops up the text on the display. The delay on Twitch is so long. All right, well, it did display at the bottom. Okay, cool. The one thing I can't show in menu bar. Why isn't anything hiding? I'm so confused by this thing. Always hide. Always hide. See, like now nothing's working. So this is a great app. Auto hides. Bartender, you're gonna automatically show items when focus. I want that. I want advanced. All bartender items. If any bartender items be hidden by the current application. Bartender has not been able to control this item. Please restarting OBS. All right. Well, this isn't gonna work. So let me go back to just hiding this crap. Always hide, and always hide. And here we'll just make this invisible, and I guess no matter what, you'll always see that I'm recording. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna build some stuff today. I don't know what I was actually. I didn't have a particular plan. So the one other thing I wanted to do was listen to some music. Actually, I really can't stand hearing the echo of myself. Let me see if there's a way I can fix this. There was something in here. Properties. That's the mic. Play capture. Setting. Audio. I was messing with this yesterday, and I can't remember where. Where did I set this? Property. Filters, noise gate. This stuff is the same. There's some setting I had here yesterday where advanced audio properties. Oh, here we go. Monitor and output. Mute output. Monitor off. All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. Means make sure I can hear myself. Testing. Monitor off. All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. I can hear myself. Now I don't have my stupid echo, and hopefully you guys can hear me too. So let's get this awful show going, because yeah, this wasn't isn't very exciting right now. All right, so what are we going to do today? Let's do a little Unity. I was working on a little game. It's an old game of mine, but I wanted to go through and sort of clean up. I'm going to reposition this mic. I want to go through and clean up one of my older games and get these things sort of working. But of course, the cool thing about upgrading to a new version of Unity is that it actually just literally breaks everything in your game. So a big part of what I need to do now is go through and figure out why everything is broken. And one thing I noticed when I was looking at the other version of this on my computer that does work is that the transition manager script was missing. Let's go ahead and see if we can run this. I'm going to mute the audio, although I can't even hear the audio anyways. But all right, so now this runs, but nothing else is going because it's giving me a null error. So let's go into the other scene and see if I can fix this real quick. Game scene. Yeah, we'll save this. And what do we want to? Game manager. All of these are missing, but I took a picture of it before. I actually got on the stream. So let me see if I can open up this picture and try to fix this. And there's like a few things I need to do in this game that are broken, but I want to fix up all this UI stuff, and the goal is to basically add in some better stat tracking and some high score leaderboard stuff. So this should be the time manager. And then the next one was the achievement manager. Achievement manager. And I think that should be it. Hopefully all these other things. That sucks. I don't know what all these other things were. What were these? What were these ones? Are all the scripts broken? Random. Let's see this. Let's see how much this runs. I think the audio stuff is broken, so game object reference null. All right, that's not good. The time manager, the achievement manager, all the achievements still here. Good. The canvas message box has its script. The archive panel has its script. Yeah, so this is basically what I have to do every time I upgrade to Unity, is go through and just figure out all the stuff that is broken that actually worked fine in the previous version. All right, button group, stats, pause button. Transition mask. The tween layer is working. Background, fine. The object is set to an instance of an object. Game manager, reset game. Let's look at the game manager. Why was this broken? Previous selected, quit panel. I don't know. Text manager. I don't know what's actually broken here. Foreground. Obstacle spawner. Door spawner. So the obstacle spawner is missing a spawner. And let's see if this actually fixes everything. Instances, prefabs. Okay, so now I have all of the spawners again. The zombie stuff looks like it has everything. Zombie mob. The main camera and the sound manager is missing something. Let's see, GUI layer, pixel perfect camera. Now, what was this? This is the background sound manager, and this is the... I don't know what this script is, but let's see if we can just get the game running, and then we'll go back and try to figure out those little details. Like, oh, interesting. Why didn't this give me well, it's not giving me the... There's supposed to be a when the player restarts, it's supposed to make him transparent for a bit. That's not working. Let's go into the prefabs. Cool. So this is just missing a whole bunch of stuff. Palette swap. Nothing selected. Couch. I wonder if this is the object pool. Palette swapper. I have no idea why Unity breaks my projects. Here's the player. Palette swap, invincibility. And why is this disabled? All right, I'm gonna save this project and open up a... I want to open up a new project. If you're just joining, I am trying to get a project that worked perfectly fine in a previous version of Unity and now doesn't work in 2017. I'm trying to get this working so I can actually go ahead and update this game and make some changes to it. So let's go to the users, let's go to shared, and I'd saved a copy of this game. Transfer Super Zombie Runner. Let's open it up from here and see if I can figure out what things we're missing. Project or disk is read only. All right, that didn't work. Where is my shared folder? We'll copy this, we'll put this into projects, and we'll just call this new. And we'll put this old one in here. Oh, and I gotta delete the Unity hub because that thing just breaks, basically broke some of my installation of Unity. So let's let this thing finish copying and let's open it up. Please move this project. Oh, whoops, I opened it to the wrong place. I like how that one error completely crashes Unity. All right, so this is in Studio, Documents, Projects. Perfect. Hopefully, once I get this going, it'll be a little bit easier for me to stream each day. I'm still trying to work out the basic issues from streaming. All right, so this looks like it works, and I bet you this game works fine. Oh, I have sound. Let me mute the audio. The game works perfect. All right, so why is the other one broken? That is strange. So let's do this. Let's quit this guy. And I'm going to copy over all of the stuff from here. And so weird. Why doesn't this have any of... All right, let's just delete this. Move to trash. And we're going to paste all this stuff here. Oh, cool. It doesn't... Oh, I know why. Okay. I need to... So so OS X 10.13 show hidden files. I don't think I have the hidden file showed. So terminal. I always forget what this command is, but let's see if we can get this to show all the hidden files. So this, and then I think the next thing I have to do is it's telling me is to hold down Option to do it, so I'll just do it that way. Let's relaunch the Finder. There we go. Now you can see all the hidden files. All right, let's redo this again. Let's delete all this stuff, move to trash, and we'll take this project and we're going to copy. I'm going to skip the ID thing and we'll paste it all into here. And just for good measure, I'm going to try to I wonder what this user prefs file is. So the big issue that I'm trying to figure out is that when I go and I commit this thing to Git and then I re-download it and open up in Unity 2017, like things are just broken. And I don't actually know why. Let's delete all this stuff. The project should regenerate it. The object will regenerate the project settings, the library. I wonder there's stuff in the library that just doesn't understand, but okay. And then there's this user prefs, which I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to call this guy old, and we'll use the old one. Call this old, and we'll make the new one just the default project. So the goal is to get Unity to actually run this game. This is in Studio Documents Projects. All right. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to rebuild the library. It looks like I'll keep the audio going. Mute audio. All right, so the game appears to be running. And it's just a really simple game. The goal is just to sort of avoid all these obstacles and jump and not get killed by the zombies. And I built this a few years ago, part of like a few different little projects that I was sort of piecing together. And I wanted to come back to it and rebuild it and also clean up a lot of the UI and stuff. And I'm hoping that I can get this working in time for GDC. The big part of it is that I keep track of a bunch of stats, which you can't see because the clicking isn't working, and that's what I got to fix. But basically, I keep track of all these different stats here, and what I wanted to do was create a leaderboard based on each of these stats. So the things that I want to fix first off are going to be all the input stuff. So what I wound up having to do is I went into this project and I sort of ripped out all the stuff that wasn't being used. And I think one of the other things I want to do is I'm trying to pull out, I shouldn't say the things that weren't being used. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of all the dependencies. So when you build Unity projects, it's actually like, it's pretty easy to go into the asset store and just sort of start taking stuff. And you add a lot of this like bulk to a project. So when I want to share a project, there's a lot that I can't share it with all this other stuff in it. And the goal is to try to get this game to be as lightweight as possible. So let's open up Writer, and while we open up Writer, what I wanted to do was let's open up a new terminal folder. I just wanted to see something. Git status. So okay, so one of the things that I'm sort of concerned with is that I have let me open up this git ignore for a second. So I have this git ignore, and there's clearly something that it is. There's some file that it's ignoring, and because it's ignoring it, Unity isn't able to rebuild the project, and it's something that's specific to 2017. So I'm not particularly sure what is going on, but Unity generated meta files, crash report, store this certificate, but that can't be it either. Maybe, I don't know why the package manager being missing would break it. I don't know. All right, so we can look into that later. I think right now the goal is to just come up with, what are we going to do? I want to build some, this is still processing. I feel like OBS is taking up like a huge amount of my computer's resources. So one of the things that I want to plan on doing is I'm going to try to output the video from my laptop to my PC and just use the PC to do the actual capturing and see if that offloads some of the processing. All right, so it looks like everything is up to date now. There's a few tasks that I want to do. I think one of the things that we can do here is let's open this back up with Atom. And well, you know, I wonder if Pamo to do. I wonder if I can just create a new account. Sign up. Let's do Jesse Freeman demo. Email should be Jesse Freeman demo at Gmail. Nah, I don't know what I want to call this. I feel like I use this I use this app called Pamo To Do. Yeah, sure, why not? You can. Nah, I don't want to save it. It's fine. No, I don't need this. Okay, what did I do? Jesse Freeman plus studio at Gmail, and I just did a basic password. So I use this program called Pamo To Do, and when it works, it's actually quite brilliant. So we'll set a timer. Oh, it's doing its clicky thing. Hold on a second. I hate when it does the clicky thing. Basically, I can hear it making the play working. So I don't need to hear that. Play alarm sound, use notification. Sure. Okay. So the cool thing about Pamo To Do, and why I use it, is that one, it's a Pomodoro clock, so I know when to sort of take a break. And then two, it's a task list, and you could do the tasks against the Pomodoro. So what I want to do is super zombie runner. We'll create a new task, and on this task, I want to add some subtasks to it. So here are the things that I want to figure out. One, or these are sort of the goals while I'm doing the stream for this game. One, how can we fix checking project out from Git? Also, what I need to do is remove, what is this library called? There's like a Boom Lagoon. Oops. Where did this go? Okay, so remove Boom Lagoon dependency. Fix input so pause menu can be opened. Add game over stats screen. Fix UI for lower resolutions. I don't know if there's anything else that I want to do, but let's just keep it like this. And then, I don't know, they keep changing the UI, so I don't know. There used to be a way that you could preview references. There used to be a way that you can actually see all the tasks. That's history. Goals. What is a goal? Oh, that's just that. Advanced sync Pomodoro status. Show countdown timer and menu bar. Show dock icon. Play working sounds. Start this on startup. Well, I guess we'll find out when we do this, when we do the Pomodoro. Everything should be in here. It would just be nice that I could actually see what the heck I'm working on. If this doesn't work, this is what I was saying. Like when this program actually works, it's really great. But for the most part, like they keep changing the UI, and it's just like kind of broken. Like it used to just show you all the subtasks. So if this doesn't work, I'll just break out the subtasks, and we'll just do that later. Anyways, so let's get started. And I think the first thing that I wanted to do was I would love to get rid of this Boom Lagoon JSON file. And one of the ways that we could do this is, I don't remember exactly where I'm using JSON, but there should be in the resources folder, I think it's this games text. And there's two ways that we could do this. Unity has a new built-in JSON parser. And one of the things that it's designed for is it's designed to serialize a class. So if this doesn't match up to a class, then it doesn't work correctly. So what I'm probably going to do is we'll probably just go ahead and we'll create a class like this, and then we'll use the new JSON serializer. So let's show this in the Finder and open this up here. And let's just create a very simple class that will handle text for the game. So we'll create a new class right now, and we'll call this game text. And what I want to do is, I mean, a lot of this stuff, I should just let's just see here. Let's just paste this in. So sometimes one of the ways that I sort of work is I'll go through and I'll just like copy out a comment and paste it in, and then just start working backwards from there. So in this case, we need a string that is time. In fact, what we're going to do is, I think I'm just going to hard code this for right now, and we can always look into fixing this later. So let's just make this public string, and I'm just going to make all the game text. I'm going to make all the game text hard coded, and then the idea is that since this stuff will just be a public class, once I get this working, I can always use the built-in JSON parser in order to serialize it. So public string best equals best. Public string score equals score. Public string start equals start. I think I built this when I was like looking to localize things. String restart. So maybe that'll be a good project to do later on. Restart string instructions. That should be capitalized or all uppercase. Instructions. Public string. All right, I've done all these. Let's just get rid of this stuff. Oh, whoops. Well, actually, I wasn't paying attention. So here, there's some actual text here. So start is this. Press key to restart. There's the instructions. We can get rid of the combo because I don't think I actually, doesn't look like I'm using that. And then what we should just do is keyboard. So I'm gonna make a public. Oops. Public string, and we're gonna call this keys. And I'm just going to piece together this stuff. But one of the things that the Unity serializer doesn't do is it doesn't allow you to serialize arrays. So we wouldn't be able to do this, and especially the way this is set up. So what I'm going to do is just have this get return. Oops, I can't type today. Return new string array, and we're just going to set the value for keyboard, touch, and controller, which will map to this. So here we'll do keyboard, touch, and controller. And then sound is the last one. So public string sound equals, and then this is just the string for turning on and off the sound. Okay, so this class should now return a type string. Oh, I see. I need to make this an array. Okay, cool. So now theoretically, I believe what I can do is get rid of, I believe I can just get rid of this Boom Lagoon stuff. So one of the easiest ways to do this, before I just like hit delete and then like screw everything up, is I'm just going to copy this whole, I'm just going to select all the text and hold down command /, and that's just going to comment out the class. The file will still exist, so I can always revert it back if I run into some problems. And I'm going to just use the error checking to see where my problems are. So it looks like everything is built into the text manager. So let's just go into the text manager and we'll start commenting out the JSON, the old JSON parser. And what we're going to do is replace tokens. Okay, so I see. So basically what this did was it allowed you to request a string key, and then from there it gave you back some text. So let's get string array, replace tokens, set text, set text, set text. All right, this is being called somewhere. What I want to do here is let's get rid of all the stuff that's actually not being called in the game. A lot of times when I write code, I sort of think like 10 steps ahead. And in this case, there seems to be some APIs that I was writing, but none of them really manage right now. And what I want to do is game manager. There is some stuff that's acting a little funny here. Oh, right. I removed the data and this awake and the JSON stuff. Okay, get object keys. So, all right, one of the things that I want to try to do is, let's go back into the text manager, and I want to rewrite. I sort of want to rewrite this so that when you ask it to get text, let's get rid of this too. I don't know what any of this is doing. When you ask it to get text, here, start text, get object keys. So it's funny, like, because I wrote some sloppy code, it looks like the text manager was literally just returning this data. And that's not good, because that just meant that it never was really even using this. So what we want to do is we want to replace, let's just do this. We're gonna leave get text. We're gonna comment this out, and for right now we'll just return this text. And now I can work backwards and sort of see where are the places that we're referencing this class. So here's the splash screen manager. When it wakes up, it was getting a text asset, and it was using this to parse the data. So all we're going to do is get singleton text manager. When the text manager loads up, we just wanted to basically create a, what do we call this? Game text equals new game text. All right, so this is just going to create a new object that will store the game text. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do like a few things. I think my plan for this, if you're just tuning in, what I'm trying to do is remove a dependency on an old JSON parser. And I'm trying to get all the game's text to go to a specific object and make it a little bit easier to update in case I want to do sort of localization in this sort of simple Unity game. And what we're doing is I have this text manager. It's going to instantiate a object that represents all the text for the game. And what we can wind up doing here is, I'm thinking we'll just use reflection. So when we pass in and we look for a key, we'll have the name of the key. It'll go into this class here, game text, and it'll look for one of these values and just return the value for that. So now I'm just going back through and trying to remove all of the references that used this before. So right now, parse JSON. What we will do is, for the text manager, let's go ahead and we'll create a method called parse JSON. Public, whoops. Actually, yeah, we'll just make it void for right now. So parse JSON string JSON. So basically what we'll do is we'll allow the text manager to parse JSON. What we'll probably do is we'll have this try to deserialize JSON on the game text object using Unity's built-in JSON parser. All right, so we'll get to that step a little bit later. Next, what we want to do is we're looking at the splash screen manager. There is a parse JSON method. So what we want to figure out is create method parse JSON. Why is this not showing up? There we go. Okay, I didn't save it. So, all right, so now, just like before, it's going to try to get whatever the text is. This JSON data is just passed in anyways through whatever. We don't need this update. As I work through this code, I'm just going to start removing the stuff that actually doesn't matter. And that should fix the first problem. Let's look at the start text. The start text is looking at the actual object, and what we're going to do is key strings. This was an array, get string, action, button type. Action, button type. So this is a string. And what I want to see is what were the action button types? Controller, touch, keyboard, right? Get, platform, detect. This returns a string for this. So all we need to do in the text manager is say get text, and we're going to pass it in the action button type. And we can actually get rid of that array we had earlier. And then here we'll just call this button text. And that will fix that problem. So now in the game text object, we have keyboard, touch, controller. Good. All right. So I don't understand why Unity's new JSON parser just didn't give you like a serialized dictionary back like other JSON parsers. That would have like been better. I don't know why it's like tied into a class, but whatever. These are the kind of questions I try not to ask myself. I was just looking at this namespace. I'm going to get rid of the namespace. Probably, what we should do on the task list is let's go ahead and add create namespace for super zombie runner classes. Cool. Okay, we'll do that. So a big part of what I like to just keep organized, and that's why I use this Pomo to do in order to, one, keep track of my time and when I should take breaks, and also when I should what's on my mind so I don't forget stuff. Let's see. So now, all right, back in the text manager. It automatically imported this, so we don't need this. So the game manager is probably going to be where most of the text is being called from. $5 says I actually like hard coded all this stuff, but let's well, no, I'm pretty sure I probably did. All right, so we need to just do the same thing here. So in this case, we're just going to do button text, get text, and pass in the action button type. And then we'll comment this out. And now this should technically fix all the bugs. Now, this isn't going to work because if we look at the text manager, all we're doing is whenever we call get text, we're just passing back text. So let's do this. Debug log. Let's take a look at the kind of keys that we're passing in and see what we need to replicate. And then once we do that, we can actually go backwards and try to find the missing keys that we need. I can't type today, so there's that. What else is next? Well, let's try to run this and see if it actually works. That's like the real challenge, right? So we look at the console. Just so much noise. Let's run this, and wherever there's dynamic text, it should probably just say test. So there, or just say text. So there's text, great. Let's see what else we got. Text, perfect. This stuff is hard coded to its own thing, which is sort of the fail of this. All right, cool. So wherever it requires the text, it's automatically pulling it, and it's interesting that it's not doing that for this stuff. Let's see. Like this is just this is another one of these like half-baked ideas of mine where I thought I'd add the text. Oh, by the way, this is the thing that I also need to fix, is that when you hit escape, it can't figure out what part to actually do. Like right now it's playing the game and the pause menu is all broken. All right. So what I need to do is at some point I would want to route all the text into here. Let's take a look at the keys that we're getting. And so we're getting instructions. Let's see, get text, keyboard, restart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what I can't remember, I might actually, I think I have the code somewhere. Let's, instead of using Google, which is sort of how I program, let's go and see. I've done this before, and I'm pretty sure I put this in. Here's transfer, drag and sweeper, assets, drag and sweeper, actions, back action. I feel like what I need to do is go through and, is there a manager? We're going to take the key that we pass in and we're going to look for the property on the object using reflection. I don't do reflection a lot in C#, so I don't have it committed to memory. But what I wanted to figure out is there's got to be a way. Battle actions, attack, generic battle action. There might be a way where attack action. Let's see if I have this in here somewhere. Attack, dictionary, message, template, tokens, add, message, replace, attack. I really don't remember where I put this. Let me see if maybe on the models the actor has it. Let's open this with we'll just open this with Atom for right now. In here I used a very similar technique where you were able to basically get a property by just passing in a string. Get stat by name. Here we go. Get field. Fields first or default. Fields. Ah, that's well, that's not very performant. All right, let's just copy all this. Get field. Set stat by name. All right, we'll copy this stuff out. Hey, look, we just finished the Pomodoro. Time to take a break. So, wow, this is the stupidest thing ever. I don't know why they did this. So all the stuff that I added, I can't actually, whatever. Okay, it's completed. Let me pick. Why is it not letting me choose the Pomodoro to? Are we done? Submit. What did we do? Here we go. Wow, this is really clunky. We have been working on removing the Boom Lagoon dependency. So we'll submit that and we'll take a break. I'm just going to stand real quick. If I sit for too long, it like hurts a lot. So I'm not even sure if anyone's actually watching, but we'll just take this quick little break. I like the old, I had an old one where it like popped up on the whole screen and then you could see that I was taking a break. I wonder if, I used to have a Jesse Freeman .tv. Used to have a domain that had jessefreeman.tv, but apparently I don't have that anymore. Should be, I think, twitch.tv/ Jesse Freeman. Copy. All right. Well, I'm trying to figure out. All right, I should actually just tweet this. So where is Twitter? All right. I think for the most part, it looks like the stream is working this morning. So let me do a quick tweet, and then I'll get back into coding. Community. Building updated version of Super Zombie. All right, so live on Twitch streams, building it up. All right, at least I'll do a little tweet, see if some people care. While that happens, let's get back into code. Now all of a sudden, like all the, oops, wait a minute. What just happened here? Is this still streaming, right? What is it not playing? I don't know what's going on with this thing, but hopefully I'm still streaming. I don't know. Anyways, so all right, if you're just tuning in, one of the things that I'm trying to do is just get some dynamic text working, and I was in the process of copying out some old code from a game and putting it into this text manager. So what I want to do is let's paste this stuff in, and then I will fix all the errors. Import missing references. Type of, we're going to call this game text. And we're just going to rename this refactor, rename. We're going to call this get text by key. And then here we're going to refactor, rename this set text by key. All right, so one of the things that I just realized is that the old code actually just returned int values. So let's change this to string. And here we're going to call set value. And then I believe when we do get field, this will be field info first order. This is the field. We should be able to, I don't have to convert this into an int anymore. We should be able to get value. Oh, my Pomodoro's over. Oh, I should set this to infinite mode. I don't have to go away. Let me set this to infinite mode so I don't have to keep telling this thing to go. All right, cool. So get value. This how is this working? Field. I see what I need to do. And here we're going to return this as a string. And we'll return undefined. And get value has one this. Let me see. Get string. field dot get value. This as string. Sure, why not? I guess it's a when you're doing reflection in C#, it's a generic, or it's just an object, right? And we need to just say that the value is going to be a string. So what this code is doing is it's going through and it's getting all the field info for the particular class, and it's returning that. Then here, when we call it, we're going to get the field. Let's make this private, just so it's not accessible by other classes. And right, okay. So the first time we call and we look for all the fields on the game object, we cache them. If it's not cached, then we go ahead and we create a new cache. If so, we just return the fields. This will return all the fields on the class, and from there we should be able to just call this key. So let's now all we need to do here is say set get key. Let's return get key, and we'll pass in the key. Oh, well, there's some other stuff we needed to do here. This actually did sort of a whole bunch of stuff. So what we're going to do for the text is we're simply going to call get text by key. We're going to pass in the key, and yeah, I get it. Type. Then it's going to go through and use a little utility that just replaces the tokens, which I could probably do that a lot cleaner with well, whatever. But right now, this is fine. It goes through and it replaces any tokens. So in this case, for the text, it's something like press this key. That's a token. It goes through and replaces it. Having built this a long time ago, I probably could get a lot better now and just use. I could probably just use the string class as format, since I learned a little bit more how to use that. All right. I just did a quick test. I just want to make sure the audio is working. Even if no one's watching, I just want to make sure I sound good. All right, so let's get rid of all this stuff. We don't need any of this anymore. And now we have get text by key and replace tokens. So the last thing I wanted to do was get text. I think I just want to inline this, refactor. And why can't I inline this? Inline this and cannot inline usage. All right, fine. All I want to do is it's just repetitive to have this thing here like this. So let's pull this out, get rid of this method. And here we'll just say get text, and we're going to set the text value equal to var text equals this. And the goal is just to keep simplifying this stuff. I mean, what I'm hoping is that I'll be able to share this. Yeah, we'll leave this as a public method. I want to be able to share this code a little bit more with people. And once I share the code, I also want to make sure that the code is actually clean enough that other people can use it. So let's give this a try. I want to just get rid of all this other stuff that we don't need anymore. And let's see if we can actually pull some text off of this class using reflection. Undefined. Well, that got us somewhere. Oh, right, because it's looking for all capitals and we don't actually have that. So Game Manager 329. So there's two ways we could fix this. My vote is that we just make everything lowercase. So let's go into the Game Manager 239. 239. My dyslexia might be kicking in. Right, 329. There we go. 329. What is the ID? Continue text ID. Update continue text. Start. Jump combo. I wonder if this title has a key built in. Between layer, show character text. Start. UI blink. Start text script. Oh, here we go. Get text. So let's do this. We're going to find the usages of wherever we call get text. And then we're going to go through and we're going to make sure that whenever we call get text, that it actually passes in a lowercase token, because that's how we name things on the class. The action buttons are the same, so I'm not too worried about that. Reset game. Here we go. Instructions. Let's also make sure that instructions is the name. Yep, there we go. Instructions. Where are the other usages here? This ID, I don't know what that ID comes from. We can look at that later. And this is another actions button. So all right, so this should now at least return some stuff. Let's see. Did it finish recompile? My phone is way at the bottom of my computer. All right, let's see. Undefined. Let's see if the game actually pulls up some of the text. Undefined. Cool. Well, that's not good. I think I know what the problem is, and it has to do with the fact that I'm not passing in the actual reference of game text. And instead, I'm using this. Where is the scope? All right, we're pulling game text, and then that will actually fix it. In the other class that I sort of took this from, this reflection text, it was basically an RPG, and it was the actor itself, and it had all the properties. So now in this case, what I'm looking to see is nope, still undefined. Let's see if maybe this works. Nope. Interesting. I wonder why that is not giving me back the text. So when in doubt, one of the things that we can do is get field name. Get field. First or default on fields. Fields. Type of. Huh. Get value. All right, so let's do this. Let's do some debugging. So if you've never really done debugging in Unity, it's mostly pretty simple. Since I'm on the Mac, I'm actually using a Writer, which is made by JetBrains, which is pretty good. And it's the same process across the board. First, you just want to start with a breakpoint, and then you need to just enable the debugger. So in Writer here, I'm just going to attach the debugger. And once I'm done attaching the debugger, I'm going to go back into Unity and rerun the game. And then whenever it hits that breakpoint, it's going to stop. So the first place that it requests the text, it's going to stop Unity and go back into the code editor. That's the theory. Apparently, Writer hadn't finished connecting up the debugger yet. Writer plugin was successfully upgraded. All right, that's cool. Why is the debugger not working? Let's try this again. Attach the Unity editor. Output disabled. Debugger is attached to an already running process. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, you know what it is? I see. The problem is it got to field, and field equaled undefined. And because field equaled undefined, it was broken. And the irony is that I actually see exactly where the error was. I wrote the word name instead of key. So it was looking for the name of this, and this is a game object, mono behavior. So it has a name by default, and it probably didn't find that field. So that hopefully this will fix the problem, and I don't have to do the debugger. Let's see. Give me text. Yay. Okay, cool. We did it. Everything works. Now this should work. Right, it's pulling up the text. And cool. So if we wanted to, we can actually pull this text up from anywhere now. Anywhere in the game. One thing I want to add to my list, it's driving me nuts. These fonts look like garbage. Let's go in here. So, all right, so we've removed the dependency on Boom Lagoon. Let's fix font. And the other thing I want to do is make all text load from game text class. So later on, I can go through and just start pulling out all the text from that, and that'll probably be a more interesting side note. So I wonder what. One of the things I was thinking of is maybe just documenting how this works, but I think I'll do this off screen. So okay, so here's all of our text. We're not even loading any of this stuff up. So I could look into doing the JSON parser. Let me just add it to the list. I don't think I want to get bogged down with it right now. The bigger problem I have, I gotta get this input working because it's add logic to parse JSON for game text class. I don't know if I really want to start messing with that right now. I want to fix the race conditions I'm seeing for playing the for actually like pausing the menu and unpausing the menu and all that stuff. So, all right, this works. And if we run the game, the big problem we have right now is that whenever we click or do any type of input, it just makes the player jump and it doesn't give us this pause menu. So what I'm thinking of doing is changing the sorry, I got a message I need to just look at. What I was thinking of doing is adding a, if I look at this correctly, there's the canvas, there is the message box, the continue text, achievement. There should be this lighting effect. I'm pretty sure the lighting effect sits. The lighting effect sits above. Oh, that was undefined. I wonder why that was undefined. All right, we can look into that later. What I want to see is if we pause this and I turn on and off the lighting effect. I can't tell that. I think that the pause screen is below it. Transition mask, pause mask. That pauses everything. Score, time, continue, achievement, message box. The message box is down here. The pause menu button group, quit sound, pause button. Here we go. All right, so the pause button sits below the lighting effect. All right, so I want to fix this. We're gonna just restructure the scene a little bit because the goal is here's the game scene. Here's everything that's visible. What I want to do is I'm going to add something to the lighting effect, which is a layer that sits. It sits on top of everything, and it's just like a PNG that's just stretched over it that adds a little bit of a gradient instead of using like a shader. What I want to do is let's get this pause button to sit above it. Oh, I forgot. I'm in Unity World. In Unity World, everything's backwards. So normally I thought this would be the top of the layer. This is actually, this lighting effect apparently is the bottom of the layer. So, okay, fine. All right. Let's do this. We're going to look at the game manager and we're going to try to figure out where, I don't even remember. It's been so long since I've done this. I want to see where I actually, let me see here. Lighting effect. I think there's something in the UI where we can add an in the layout. No, where's the UI stuff? UI. I feel like there's a selectable text button. I think I can add a button to this and we'll have no transition. We have no automatic anything. And then what I wanted to do was, okay, here's sort of what I'm thinking. In the game manager, let's get rid of this debugger stuff. All right, let me close all this out real quick. It is resolution. It's like really hard to have like a lot of files open at the same time. So we'll just leave it like this. So what I'm thinking of doing is, let's do public void player action. And what we're going to do is, let's just do debug log player action called. What I'm thinking is just simplifying the input completely so that if you click on the display and hit the lighting effect, it will actually trigger the jump instead of just listening for any button to be pressed. So what we're going to do is, I'm basically just turning this lighting effect image into a button. So runtime only, there should be a game manager. We'll call the game manager. And here we're going to do the game manager, and we're going to call, what was that method that I just made? Game manager, enable, run, edit, broadcast, cancel, evoke, edit, on player action. And now the other thing that I need to do is, let's go ahead, and I got to find where input, manipulate time, get key down, escape, active self, game started. Okay, so there should be another place where I'm calling input state. Action button equals true. All right, for right now, I'm just going to disable, this. And this is an input manager, and I was just looking to see if any key is pressed, we're going to make the guy jump. Right now, I'm less concerned with making him jump, and I'm more interested in seeing if we set the lighting effect layer to be a button, if that will give me the input that I'm looking for. This is sort of like a hokey. The biggest problem I have is like Unity's input manager is really difficult to work with. So, okay, so hold on, is this clicking anything? No, this isn't registering anything. Oh wait, is it? Nope, 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 nope. Lighting effect. I think what's missing is it doesn't have a raycaster. Let me add that component. Graphic raycaster. That should make it clickable. Or I'm lying. Get text restart. I don't know, but I did see one bug that I wanted to fix with this get text restart game manager 329. We'll go back to fixing this in a second. Game manager 329. ID update continue text. Here we go. Restart. I just want to make that lowercase, and that will actually that'll fix the text that we did earlier in the day. So, why does this thing not work? That is a very loaded question. What we're going to do is let's delete this component, and I'm just going to create a button that sits on top of the entire screen. Remove component, because maybe they changed something. I don't know. Let's create a button. And this button is going to stretch across the entire screen. And it's not going to have an image. And we're going to make this button lick. This will be runtime. We're going to pass it a reference to the game manager. On the game manager, we're going to call game manager player action. Then I want to just make sure that on player action, we're actually outputting something. Come on. OBS is eating up all my resources, so nothing wants to work. Player action. We'll come back here. We'll save this. And now let's rerun the game and see if this button will click. Cool. That doesn't work at all. And I don't actually know why. Huh. And everything is really broken. Why doesn't this button click? Does it need the image? I swear these things like needed a raycaster or something. Graphics raycaster. Ignore reverse graphic. I don't know what makes this thing tick and why it won't work. Well, that's annoying. Event system. Well, all these input systems are deprecated. Standalone input module. All right, let me remake the event system. UI event system and see how it reconfigures. No, let me delete this. Delete. It looks like all the old stuff, ironically enough, is all deprecated. I've never seen things get deprecated so much before. UI event system. Like, usually when you deprecate stuff, you don't break it, and you just like let it run for a while until it like works itself out. Let's see if this pause button works again. Now we have a new event system. There we go. Hey, look at that. Okay, so that's actually working. All right, so let's go to this button and we're going to make this input layer. call this input layer. I'm going to move this behind the... I'll move it above the message box. And then this input layer, one thing I want to do is it's interactable. There's no thing to it. Now, why can't I get the button to... I swear the button used to have like a text property. Like, where do you change the text on the button now? Oh, it's in here. That's what it is. All right, delete this guy. All right, so this is an invisible layer that's going to sit on top of the screen. And whenever we click on it, it's going to call player action called. Whoa, what was that? Black streak. That was weird. Well, it should call that. Why is it not working now? I guess it needs a graphic, maybe? Let's see. All right, it needed a graphic. So we can make this guy transparent. This is so hacky, by the way. And now we have the button script. We have this image. Material raycast as target, right? So that's an image type, fill center, simple. Has the UI. We can actually set this to none, I think. None. If I set the alpha back. Oh, can we not set this guy to none anymore? There we go. So that acts like almost like a solid color. All right, let's just run this and see if this works. All right, so player action called, and if we remove the image, it won't interact. So we're gonna have to make this thing transparent. So fine, okay. So now we know, and knowing is half the battle. We have the input layer, and the next step is to route the input layer into the input manager. Cool. Okay, so where do I put the input manager? We don't need this. I removed in control. Event system background. So that's the actual background itself. Transition mask, pause mask, game manager, foreground. I don't know why the input manager isn't here. Time manager, achievement manager, text manager. Main camera. GUI layer is deprecated. Interesting. MSA requires the camera but not enabled in quality settings. This camera will render without MSAA buffer. If you want MSA enabled, I don't even know what that is. We can get rid of that. All right. So the one thing I'm just missing right now, where is the input manager? Let's see here. Input. Huh. Let's look at the input manager class or input state. What uses this? This is a mono behavior. Player animation manager. So it's on the player. I don't think I actually have a player that gets spawned. So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to tell the game manager to tell the active player that the button has been pressed. And what we want to figure out is where is the player? Game object player. So here, destroy script get component, destroy off screen, player get component, rigid body, on player killed. Let's just see. I mean, this game is simple enough. I'm not gonna like really go overboard on this for right now. What I just want to do is say if player does not equal null. Oops. We'll do player get component, and we're going to be looking for the input state, and then there should be an action button. We're going to set this guy to true, and I believe the input state will automatically reset this on update. No, it doesn't. So what we'll do is on update we'll make this false, or else we just keep jumping. Now let's just give this a try and see if this works. I also forgot to, what was the other thing that, what are we working on now? Fix checking project from Git, fix input so pause menu could be opened. So we're working on this. All right, so right now what's basically happening is I don't think this is actually getting called. So let's see here. Where is action button being used? My thinking is that the jump is being called is clearly being called somewhere else, and because it's being called somewhere else, it I don't even know if it's even being used. That's weird. What makes this guy jump? It's been so long since I looked at this code. All right, let's just look at the player. Project prefab player. This has an input state jump. If input state but action button, so this is looking at this. So what I feel like I just want to do is just make the player jumping. Like I feel like let's extract this method and just call this action, right? And if anything, on the game manager, we'll get component jump, and instead we'll just call dot action. I think I just have to make that public. And what we want to make sure is if the player is standing, then we will perform this action. All right, so now we might be able to just get around the whole input thing. And what I need to figure out in this input state is I'm probably going to strip all this stuff out. I mean, this was all based on code that I written that had like a much more complicated player model. And hey, yes, I'm back streaming. I just noticed the chat. Yes, I'm gonna try to stream a little bit more. The past like year or two, I've just been traveling a lot, and it's been really hard to keep a consistent schedule going. So my plan now is hopefully I won't be traveling as much. My plan now is to try to stream when I can, and see if we can get a more consistent thing going. Hey, look, jumping's working again. Okay, so now we're just simply bypassing everything, and yes, I still work for Amazon. All right, so one thing I noticed is that the button press is only happening on release, not on down. So let's take a look at this like button hack thing and see if this might be the only problem with this thing, is that this button only registers when you release. There's no down state. I wonder if there's another way to. What was the other? It was a there was some other interactive thing. What was I looking at for? Button, toggle, slider, scroll, selectable. So if you're just joining, I'm trying to figure out a way of making it easier to support touch for I basically have a problem. I'm trying to get it to where if you touch the screen, it will jump, but if you touch the pause menu, it will open up the pause. And download input, touch input module, event system. Maybe there's something on the event that we can handle. Select the first send navigation events, drag threshold, input actions per force module active. Huh. I really have no idea how to hack this thing together. There's got to be a way on the button to capture on press. Well, let's test out one other thing. Let's see if this button. All right, so now at least clicking here does. Okay, so we're getting closer. There is a way to do it. I just got to. I'll have to look that up in a second. what I want to figure out now is, let's go back to this input state. Let's, well, we can leave this as is, because what I want is controller to work, but I want to be able to externally be able to force a jump. So we can now externally force a jump. This is good. I don't even think was jumping is even being used. Standing and invincibility was jumping. I guess so. All right, so it is being used. Let's go back. So player action, cool. We're routing everything to player action. This is good. What I want to look at, oh, I wanted to look at the input. Get key down, escape. Manipulate time to 1. Sound manager, play clip, reset game. All right, so let's pull this out real quick and exit, active self, exit, quit, toggle, pause. If game started, an escape key is pressed, fine. What I got to get is toggle, pause. I got to get rid of all the places where input manager is used. Because it's really kind of hacky the way that I did this. And what we're going to do is we're going to strip this back. We'll get it to where it's a little bit cleaner, and then from there, I will I'll figure out how to fix it. Let's do this. Let's take a look at what's going on. So if any key is down and the escape key is down, we're going to manipulate time, play a clip, and reset the game. And this is if the game is started and it's down. Okay, so let's remove this for right now. We'll have to re-implement controller later. And what we want to do is we want to be able to tell whether the game is active or not. So here, what we have is game over lock is not active and this is not active. If the key is down, which we've already validated because we're in this player action, and the input key is not escape, which we don't need to worry about. So in this scenario, we're assuming that the game is over and we need to restart the game. Oops. The alternative is that the game is active. So first off, all right, test to see if the game is over. If game is playing, see if we can make the player jump. Look for a player instance. Call action on the player's jump component. All right. Trying to get in the habit of, I sort of picked this up while I was working on Pixelvision 8, of as I go through and write out my code, just adding the comments in while I do it so that I don't have to go back and do it later. So, and also it reminds me of what the hell I was doing. So, okay, let's see now. So the goal of what I'm trying to do is get a state where we can begin the game, make the player jump, and when the game is over, restart it all by clicking. So let's see how this works. Play. What time is it? It's fine. I was going to do this until 11, but I want to get this. I got to get this thing done. I have some meetings later today in the city, so I got to go head out. All right, so let's just see if this works. So now we've died. We click again, and boom. We're now able to restart the game. Now, hitting any of the keys doesn't do anything. Let's see if hitting the key restarts the game. No. Okay. So the only way to restart the game is to just press this little magical button. Now, the problem I still have is that the button is, it only fires on release. So we're going to see if we can create a custom, we'll see if we're going to create a custom event. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to see, okay, so now we pause the game. And if we hit escape, we can now do this. This isn't triggering anything. I can now actually use the mouse again, which is something I couldn't do before. You can quit the game. Do you want to quit? No. Let's go back to quit. Yes, we'll quit the game, and it goes back. So, okay, so I fixed the basic input issues. It isn't going to work with the controller. Again, I'm going to have to go back and get, like, the goal is to get this game to work on sort of everything, but for right now, and I literally mean everything. Like, I built this game really to work on Fire TV, but I have an Xbox One X in dev mode that I want to test this out on. We're gonna get this running on tablets, iOS. Like, I want to basically see if I can get this one little game running on every single device that I own that Unity can output to. All right, so if you hit escape, now it'll quit the game. I'm just trying to test through some of these states so I can keep track of this in my mind. All right, so we pause, and this all works. You turn the sound off, we can turn the sound on. Cool. All right, so let's take a look at how we can get how we can fix this input. So there's got to be a way of, I feel like Unity button UI on click. There we go. Unity event is triggered when the button is pressed. Add listener on click. All right, so game manager. We're gonna do this. I mean, we're just gonna do this really kind of hacky. It's funny. I've been building, like, for Pixel Vision 8. I've spent just months building, like, the cleanest C# like code base I can, and then I get back into Unity and making like a Unity proper game, and I was like, you know what? Let's just hack the hell out of it. So in this case, what we're gonna do is private. Whoops. Private. I can't type private button, and we'll just call this or we'll call this a touch layer. All right, so on the touch layer, when we start up on Awake, we're going to do touch layer, on click, add listener, and we're going to do on action. Or some, what did I call it? Trigger. It's saying player action. There we go. Player action. All right, and now down here, this basically calls the player action. So we're good. We can save this. Let's go back into Unity, and now what we're going to do is when this recompiles, it's going to give us an input field. We'll drag over the input layer into this new property field, and then that should wire up everything. So hacky. Like, wait, why didn't it show up? Oh, you know what? It should be a game. It should be a game object, I think. No, wait. No, it should. Did I not make the thing public? I should be able to have scripts. Game manager. Oh, Unity. Oh, I didn't make it public. And I sat there and spelt it out like an idiot because I couldn't think of how to spell private. So, of course that doesn't work. All right, let's have this restart. There we go. So we'll do the input layer here. Let's change this and we'll just call this touch layer. And we're going to remove the event handler for this button. I like how this doesn't go away. There we go. So let's just enable this. So that's on click. So on click was what we had before. And I don't want on click. I actually need on down or something. On select is active, on pointer down. Evaluate the current state and transmit the button press. All right, so we're going to go for on pointer down. Because a click is a... Oh, you know what? No, it doesn't work like that. Why doesn't it let you add a different event handler? Event trigger. Add a new event time. Son of a... Look at this. Okay, so I don't need to do this in code at all. I can keep this super sloppy and all in the GUI. On pointer down. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Let's see. So we'll do game manager. Game manager... Player action. Now, I wonder if I need this button. So I think the button component is tied directly to on click. I think if we just put this event trigger here, that should work. And then the other thing I want to do is let's undo all this code that we just added. And let's rerun it. And I think once I get this sort of working, I'll probably stop the stream for the morning. I'll come back tomorrow. I'm gonna have a lot more time tomorrow to do this code. Just for some reason I'm like starving. And I don't know why. And I'm trying to save myself because I'm going to Cat's Deli later today. Which if you don't know what Cat's Deli is, you've just never been to a deli. It's like one of the best delis in New York. So because I'm probably gonna gorge myself out. Not going to eat a very big lunch. All right, so now we're jumping. There we go. All right, so this looks like it's working. So the biggest thing so now what we're doing is I've just taken the regular input that was done by using buttons before or that was used internally, and I've just made it external so that we can call it. Let me just remove this component. We don't need this component. And let's just double check that this works. So, all right, so now anywhere we click, this will work. We can pause the game. We can toggle all this stuff, and we can replay it. So now, that means that everything is sort of working nicely. You know, I wonder, I've never even tried nested scenes. I kind of have this idea for like what I want to do for the end. And I want to show this big stats thing. But I wonder if I can build that as a separate scene and then nest it in here. Like, what are the odds that nesting scenes would work? If like basic stuff in Unity doesn't work, like how would nesting scenes work? But get a combo of none. Whoa, look at that jump. This is such a fun little game. I mean, this isn't like the best game I've ever written, but it has like its moments where it works and it's kind of fun. So the goal of why I'm like revisiting this game is one, I want to see if I can make it better, but I don't want to spend like a huge amount of effort to make it better. I believe that if I just added a better core mechanic for scoring and made it like just a better reward system, it would actually make the game a little bit more fun. And I just want this to be a game that you got a few minutes, you're waiting somewhere, and you just pull it out on your phone and you basically just start playing. So there doesn't have to be like a lot involved in this. It just needs to basically do the bare minimum, which it sort of does right now. I think the big part of what I want to do tomorrow, that wasn't good. So I got to fix that state stuff. This is terrible, where it plays, well, and then here's the problem. Like now it just broke pausing. Let me add a little thing for that. Need to make sure pause isn't triggered when game is starting up or locks player in pause screen. So fix input so pause menu could be open. So we did that. And I think we're good to go here. What I'll do is tomorrow we'll just start cleaning up a lot of this stuff. I gotta get this flow right, because yeah, do I want to quit? Yes, I want to quit. We'll figure out the flow. We'll get stuff running the way that it should, and then I can spend next week just sort of cleaning up the graphics, like all this score stuff. This font stuff looks really like garbage. I don't know why this is. Why is the scale set to 2? Like other things I noticed, like if I do this like at a lower resolution, like I mean, there's not much I can do for it, but this 1080p stuff, like right here, 1024 by 768. I just got to get it where the score isn't like running right into that. And honestly, I bet you anything. Well, oh god, I hate this font. I got to find a better font. I bet you if I just removed a 0 from here, 2, 4. Like this isn't a really high scoring game, so I bet you if I removed 2 zeros from this, it would like look, the best score right now is 1334. I think that was like one of my better runs. I bet if I remove these two value, let's go find the score. Let's see if we can do one last quick thing. I don't know where score is. Oh, score manager. There's got to be a place where I set the text. Get stat value. Stat manager, score label, calculate score. But what I want to see is, I wonder where I display the score. There's got to be something in here that, let's see, let's work backwards. This is the score text. I wonder what, let's see if the game manager has a reference to the score text. Yeah, so this has a reference to score text. This is why, like, I hate, like, this is like one of the things I really, really hate about Unity. It's just, you can't really tell where code logic lives. And because of it, it's like, it's all like linked together in the GUI and in the code and blah, blah, blah. So I need to score text. There we go. So watch this. I think if I just change this to D4, D4, this is score, score, D4. And then that was the score. Now there's a best score. Best score. Where do I display this? All right, the best score is based on that value. So, okay, so let's go back into here. Let's rerun this. And now what'll happen is that it should work at a lower resolution and it won't. There we go. It doesn't bunch up right against that pause button. Perfect. All right, so the other things that I'll just need to do in order to, like, in cleaning this stuff up is get it to where it, I'll just have to get it to where it, where I have a better font. And I'll go back through and I have to figure out fonts. Like, fonts were like totally broken the last time I was like really using Unity. So I sort of just like hacked something together just to get it to work. Like literally when I opened this project in Unity 2017.3, the fonts were all broken and nothing worked. So yeah, all right. Also new to the stream is my dog in my background. I don't think I had a dog when I was streaming before, so that should be a fun little interruption. Let's make this 5. And what we should do is D5, you know, like another place where I did this, D4, D5. We'll do one last test real quick, and then I'm gonna end the stream. I'm just waiting for this countdown timer to work, or until I finish a full Pomodoro. All right, well that looks good. So all I need is a monospace font, and that should fix the. I hate when the font jumps around like that. Cool. The combo, everything looks good. Best is now lined up. Well, that's mostly because it saved a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another place where I'm not. D4. Here we go. That's where I did the best. All right, cool. So I fixed that other little bug, which was the game didn't look right on. Before I log it, let me just test it. The game didn't look right on smaller screens. I think I was testing it on like an iPad, so it just didn't scale correctly to this screen. Come on. Play. All right, cool. So that works. And that looks pretty clean. All right, cool. So the text lines up. It's not pushed up against the pause. Mouse button works for input. And I can start and stop the game, and I can still escape. Oh no, I hate when it does that. It's got to be. I really want to fix that. Maybe I can push it for a little bit longer. Fix UI for lower resolutions, which we just did. Let's submit it. All right, you know what? We're going to do this. I'm going to take a text edit. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. All right, so I'll take this break. I'll be right back. And then once I come back, what we're going to do is let's see if we can fix the pause stuff, because I already have an idea of how to do that. I shall return. All right, I'm back. Let's see. So, where was I? I wanted to just fix one last bug before I officially called it a day on today's stream. I want to... There's got to be a way that I can limit pausing based on the current speed. So I do this like this little trick, like when. Thanks. Good to be back. When I run the game, if you're just tuning in, now that I'm back from my break, it's like shove some chips in my mouth as fast as I could. I don't know why I'm like starving. So basically, when the player dies, I slow down the screen, and I just use this little effect that that's sort of just like it actually just changes the time of Unity, and it gives you that sort of slowdown effect. What I'm trying to figure out is a way to, when the game is starting back up, like let's get this, let's figure out the exact issue. So right now it stops. I click to restart, and then when I hit escape, the game is running in the background while the pause menu is up, and then once the player dies, because there's nothing you can do, you're basically now locked out of the game. So, well, that was cute too. I wonder why that shows up. I could spend all day trying to fix problems. So let's add this to the list. Splash screen. Player shows up at bottom at 1024 by 768. Bottom of mask. All right. So what I want to see is, it doesn't look like we got to be able to figure out when to fix this one edge case where the game is restarting and the player hits escape. Because I'm pretty sure that as soon as that pause menu shows up, right, we got to make sure that the pause menu only shows up once the game is back into action. So let's take a look. I wrote this code a long time ago, so I don't have it committed to memory. And even if I wrote it yesterday, I probably wouldn't have it committed to memory. I believe somewhere around here I have a reference to the pause button. Let's do this. Let's look at let's look for toggle pause. And we'll start there. So time scale equals 0, sound manager, pause sounds, event system. All right, so the thing that we're looking to do is time scale equals 0. Okay. What we want to do is whenever we toggle pause, let's take a look and yeah, I know I can't remember hundreds of lines of code. Well, this is I wrote this game like 2 years ago, maybe. So let's see here. Public. Okay, so we're gonna do debug log, and we're gonna just test out time, and we'll just see what the time scale is. My theory on how to fix this is that if the time scale itself is not 0 or 1, we won't allow you to toggle pause. You can only toggle the pause when it's in between those two modes. So let's see if we can at least capture that state correctly, and then we'll go in and sort of fix it. Unfortunately, there's like so much, even in like a simple game like this, there's so much going on that I want to figure out a way to. All right, we pause this. I want to make a way to make it simpler so that if you just load it up for the first time, you're not like inundated with like half of the stuff is attached to the game object, half of the stuff is in the code, but I guess it's just part of Unity in general. All right, so we're getting very binary results. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing something stupid like setting time to greater than 1. All right, so I broke something because now time is just moving on. All right, why did that happen? All right, let's die and see if we can capture the pause again. All right, so my theory is correct. It wasn't at 1 or 0. So let's do this. The first thing we'll do just to fix the pause is if time dot times. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Time dot time scale is greater than 0 or time dot time scale is less than 1. Actually, we're going to be a little bit more descriptive. If time scale is not equal to 0 or time dot time scale does not equal 1, return. And basically we're going to only toggle the pause menu when time is stopped or running, not stopped or at full speed, not during a transition. A lot of your questions, Linda. Take a 1-month break. I have trouble with my code. Mine's a lot simpler than what you're doing. Yeah, I know. It's tough to it's tough, especially when you're getting started to it's tough when you're getting started to figure out how a lot of this stuff works. Unity is actually, oops, I was typing in Lua. Speaking of which, Unity is kind of difficult in the sense of like code can just be anywhere. It's like I was saying it earlier. It's like one of the gripes that I have with Flash back in the day is that Flash allows you to put code anywhere, and I started at the end just basically moving away from ever having any code on a movie clip, and I just did everything dynamic. I'm just trying to get rid of all these references to time scale. Why are you being such a possible loss of a fraction while rounding? Yeah, that's fine. All right, so let's give this a try. Let's see if we can fix this from breaking again. I mean, the thing about the coding is that you really just have to sort of do it every day. So this was one of my Lynda. This was one of my Lynda courses. I think this is my Essential Training 5. I mean, I was doing all these Lynda courses, but I'm sort of like moving away from it because Unity is like just so like broken all the time that every time I release a course, I'm not able to fix it because like it's all the changes from one version of Unity to another. All right, let's see. Cool. So escape isn't working, but now it's not giving us anything. All right, let's see why. Debug log. Let's see what's going on here. So we'll just output the timescale itself. Then we'll output the Boolean of this, and we'll output the Boolean value of this, and just take a look at what's what's going on and why it can't register what I'm trying to do. I might just have to make it a range between 0 and 1 and call it a day. Like a lot of these bugs, a lot of this stuff I just don't want to spend too much time. I'm sort of behind on this project. I lost the entire day yesterday to just getting Git to work correctly. So let's see if we can. So I'm hitting pause, but time equals 1, but for some reason doesn't like this idea. All right, let's just do this as a scale and call it a day. I mean, this is like a little hack, and I don't want to spend all day trying to hack it. So if time scale is less than or is greater than 0, or time scale is less than 1, basically hit return. And let's see, you've seen the other courses make us in a similar situation where it becomes difficult or unfeasible to update the course. I know, yeah, it's so tough to keep Unity projects up to date with the course. It's funny, I wrote this book for Unity 2D, and I wrote it maybe 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and I've been meaning to just sit down and go back and rebuild it. But why is pausing that? That's strange. Why is... Let's see if this works. If time is greater than 0 and time is less than... Maybe we just need to be a little bit more judicious about this. I want to go back and I gotta update all my books, but man, updating that stuff is gonna be a pain in the butt. So I might just do a whole update on a stream and just go through and see if I can just get everything working. I feel like I did that at some point, but so much has changed, and I think there's whatever the new version of Unity coming out is will probably require everything to be done again. All right, so nothing is working. Why? Why can't the time scale be less than a float? Let me go back a second and just take a look at why this would fail. I have another strange idea. Let me see if I just turn this into an int. Will that round it up or down for me? It should be, I don't know, there's something weird about float in C# where it never really equals 1. Oh yeah. I don't expect. I've never had people complain that the book is out of date. I think that I just want to update the booking. So look at this. I love this. Time is 1. Time is 1, but it's still equaling false. So I think that's the key. I'm just going to. I think when I go to test it. All right, why not? This is going to be weird. Let's just do this. Int. We'll set this to an int. And by setting it to an int, maybe that'll force it to... I'm sort of baffled. Let's also keep track of this here. We're going to make this an int and keep track of the time. I I'm pretty sure this is why I ran into this problem before, because here I'm basically saying if it is equal to 0, because I was able to make sure that it always equals 0. I don't know why a float. C# test if float is 1. How to determine if a decimal or double is an integer? For floating point numbers, using modulus is typically the way to check if there's any. It's not a bad idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. We'll use modulus. So we can simplify this whole thing, and we'll just basically see if time scale modulus 1 equals 0. Well, actually, let's just see. I don't even know. Let's just see what modulus is going to be. But that should, right? They're doing 1 equals 0. That's 0 should equal 0, right? So if mod equals 0, and then we can if it doesn't equal 0, let's exit out of this method. All right, go back to Unity. Unity's deciding it doesn't want to play. All right, there we go. In your debug message, you cast it to an int. Doesn't that mean that it would be? Yeah. So I printed out the regular number and I casted it to an int. I just wanted to see. Okay, so we can now pause again. And let's die, and then make sure that as it's ramping up, we can't hit escape. All right, so then we get to 1, and then, all right, perfect. So that seems to have fixed the problem. Yeah, that modulus trick, that's interesting. If you're not familiar with modulus, modulus basically allows you to divide a value and get the remainder. And I use it like all the time for like laying out grids and stuff. So if you wanted to traverse a grid by the columns, you can do like the current ID that you're at inside of the grid, modulus the width of the column, and whenever it hits 0, it basically goes to the next row. So that works. Hopefully we'll play around with this for a little bit longer. I just wanted to get rid of the trace statement. Also, I still have this. Let's get rid of this trace statement from earlier when we built out this little text manager thing. I like how Unity like locks up and it won't let me switch over. I gotta so my goal, I'm trying to do this all on my laptop. Over the past year I've really forced myself. I have a really nice gaming PC, but and it would handle this stream without even like having a problem. But over the past year, I've really been trying to just get down to one computer. So I don't want to set up a dev environment on my PC and then not have it on my laptop, because I just travel my laptop so much. So what I'm hoping is that I'm going to try to do a video out from my laptop and then use my PC to record it. And that'll get rid of all the processing power that that OBS is using right now to capture the video and run Unity. All right, so this is working. Let's die. So you're able to quit. Let's die again. I did notice one other little bug. All right, so now once it's back up to 100% speed. So the other little bug, I just want to see if I can figure out where that is happening. Is that I want to get that do you want to quit. I want to make sure that that only happens. Let's make sure that the quit toggle, so that's the game toggle, that was let's see where I was going to line. Now I want to toggle pause. So exit quit. If panel exit quit panel equals null. I've been doing too much Lua. And when streaming to Twitch, I have turned off the local recording and then I download the video from Twitch. Yeah, I'm not actually recording it. The problem is I'm on a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and the reason I've been moving to my laptop is because I like to have one development environment. Like on my MacBook, I have Windows and I have the Mac, and I have everything sort of running in one dev environment, so I can take it with me wherever I go, and then it's always sort of backed up. The problem is that on the MacBook Pro, the 13-inch, there's no GPU, so OBS is doing all the encoding software-based, and that's not great. So that's sort of problematic. Let's see, time scale modulus 1 equals, it's not equal 0. All right, the last thing I just wanted to fix was I just wanted to see there was this one little bug that when you tried to quit the game and you hit escape, while it was while the game was slowing down, it never really fully slowed down. So let's see if we can just stop that, because then it would just be running at full speed behind. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I sort of like that slowdown effect. I mean, if I really wanted to simplify the code for this game, I'd pull all this stuff out. My plan is to rewrite this game, but using my game engine. All right, so let's see. Let's get this. Let's have this person die. Cool. So I put this in the wrong place. This needs to be exit on quit. So on quit, clean up singletons. When does that get called? Quit. $5 says it's this. Because here it's setting the time to stop. Let's see if we can trick it real quick. I only got another minute or so anyways of this Pomodoro, and that's probably when I'm going to end it. I gotta start getting ready to, oh wow, it's really bright outside, all the snow. Had a fun little snowstorm yesterday. That didn't work. Let's try to restart the game. All right, have them die. It's funny, it sort of locks. It locks it at whatever the speed is. Why? What? I don't even know what toggles this thing. I'm willing to bet that this on quit is actually still part of the, let's see here. Let's see if the input manager or something calls that menu. Excuse me, here we go, escape. If, quit panel. What we could just do is if game started, if. All right, so let's do this. Let's say that if time scale doesn't equal modulus 1, oops, why is it not return? If not, we will just go through and do the testing, or whether we quit the game or whether we go to pause. Then in toggle pause, we can remove this. Oh, Pomodoro is over. Everyone party. I just want to test that this thing works. And I was just putting this up here because it had to comment because I'm lazy. Time scale. All right. Run this one last time, and then I'm going to call it a day. Let's see. You're in Denmark, Scandinavia, North America, so we've had snow a week. Starting to get dark now. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it snows a lot there. I remember I was in Hamburg once doing some work in the winter, and it got like dark around like 3 o'clock. It was so depressing. All right, there we go. We can't escape. We can. All right, so that sort of works. I think the one thing I want to get is that you shouldn't be able to. So while the transition is happening, nothing should happen. And the other thing I wanted to do is feel like, well, whatever. We'll leave it as is. There's some weird UI inconsistencies here. So I'm really not going to split any more hairs on it. But basically now we can pause the game. When the player dies, we can't toggle the quit until after the transition. So we can escape, then we can rerun the game. And then what I want to make sure is that while the game is running up, or while the game is speeding back up, so while it's slowing down, we can't get the pause. There we go. There's a nice little break. All right, so we just got to make sure the last thing I'm going to do, and then we'll if game started. Huh. Exit, quit, quit. Basically what I need to make sure is once we quit the game, it sets the time scale to 0. Let's see if just removing this will fix it, because technically the only way you can get to the quit screen is if you pause the game. So let's see. So here we pause. If we hit quit, it's already paused, so we don't need to do this redundantly. Let's die, and then all right. So now we can restart, and it doesn't break it. Because before, what happens when the quit menu came up, it basically went right into all right, so the last thing I want to do is I just want to make sure that when we call quit, if time scale equals 0, return. And then this way, what we're basically ensuring is that we can't pull up the quit menu. Well, yeah, see, like that's like the weird part of the UI. That I have to fix. I think I might have to always have that pause menu, but maybe what I'll do is I'll just disable it when we're transitioning. But when the game is over, there's no way for you to quit. I mean, there's really nothing to quit to anyway, so this is just an exercise in whether I can make it or not. Boom. Okay, so now there's no way to quit. Just restart the game. And then if you want, you have to restart the game and quit. All right, I'm fine with that for right now. Deal with that later. Press spacebar to restart. What I might just do is I think I might add some UI here that'll let you like quit the game, play a new game, or see the high scores. And that'll go in with the other stuff that I want to add. Okay, cool. So I feel comfortable that I have now successfully finished all this stuff that I wanted to do for the day. So make all text load from the add logic to parsing. I need to make sure the pause isn't triggered. All right, cool. So we completed that. All right, hey, I'm gonna try to stream again tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern New York time, and I'll probably just, if I'm home and I'm not like super busy or in meetings, I'll probably just do this 9 to 12 thing, and I'll just stream in the mornings. I'll do my coding, and then make myself some lunch, which you guys don't really need to know about. And I think that's it for right now. So last thing we'll do, just as we clean this up, is let's just go ahead and commit the code. I would like to get it to the point where, like something like this, where I've open sourced the game. At the end of the day, you guys can just go and download it and play with it. It's add all. So we fixed pause bug, added input layer, and removed old JSON parser. Cool. So I need to git config global edit. Follow the instructions in your editor to edit your configuration. So git edit. What's my name? Francis. Sorry, I couldn't help myself there. My name is Jesse Freeman. And hey, everyone, you can have my email. Why not? What else am I going to do with it? jessefreeman@gmail.com. And let's write and save, and then git commit amend reset author. Whoops. We'll write and quit and git push all. Cool. So that should be there. And the repo I spent yesterday. Whoops. I don't want to be on GitHub. I spent yesterday cleaning up my my GitHub page thing. So if you just go to GitHub/Jesse Freeman, I am there. And the project I just committed was this super zombie runner, but there's still some issues with it. So I'll try to get this up and running. Maybe tomorrow I'll walk through how to do some. I'll talk about how I like set up Git, which I've done before in the past, but you know, people sort of like to watch. And at the end of each recording, well, the aim will be to have some code that's actually be usable. So cool. All right, thanks everyone. I appreciate it for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow.